New information has been released about the Odin Handheld, and right now I just want to take a few minutes to go over it with you guys. First thing that was talked about with this device and its development was the development journey. So the conception phase started in March of 2020, and they moved on to the hardware phase in August, following that up with the software in September of 2020. CNC prototypes started to go out in April of 2021, and we're seeing mass production is expected to start in September of 2021, so right around the corner, right through October of 2021. They expect to launch the base Odin model in November of 2021 and the Odin Lite in September. The Pro model will also come in November. Right here we're taking a look at the 3D render of the internals of the device. As you can see, there is LED around the analog sticks and around the edge of the device. I hope there's an option here to turn those off in the software. Anyways, we're moving on to the production highlights. Passive and active cooling is available for this device, so you can see there's a metal heat plate here which will dissipate heat, and then you have that exhaust fan that will just pull that heat and just push it out through those vents that they have on this device. You have a ergonomic grip. There's also rumble here, which is very good, so for emulators that do support rumble, you're gonna get that feedback, and for Android games that do support rumble as well, you're gonna get that immersion here as well. Dock support. Now the dock, it supports native GameCube and N64 controllers along with USB controllers, and you can also like add a 2.5-inch hard drive. There's an expansion bay in the back of the dock for that. Also, there is a full-size HDMI port and a Ethernet port on the dock with additional USB ports at the back of the device. There's also a HDMI port on top of the device. If you don't want to get the dock, you can still output to the TV. Stereo sound is available with a left and right stereo speaker on this device, so you can expect pretty good sound quality. Analog triggers are available, which is good for like racing games. Also make a difference in any game that was developed to take advantage of the analog trigger, so I'm glad to see that here. The game launcher, this is just a preview of what the software will look like, but you can change those styles to a rectangular style if that is your preference. The screen mapping software, so it's a bit better than what we had on previous generations of Android handhelds. So this allows you to do a bit more. What I like here in this game center is that you have some information, like you can see your FPS of any game that you're playing. You can monitor the temperature, your CPU usage, and your RAM usage. You even have an option here for you to go live and broadcast on Twitch if you'd like to do that. I hope there's also an option to do this on YouTube. You can take screenshots of your gameplay or record your gameplay. There's also an option for you to put on do not disturb so you don't receive any alerts, and this looks pretty useful. Game streaming is another selling point for this device, so xCloud is going to work here along with Google Stadia, GeForce Now, Amazon Luna, and as I stated before, I'd love to see a native app for PlayStation Now. That way we can play our PlayStation games on this amazing device. So operating system details. So Odin is going to have they allow you to add additional ROMs onto this device. So all versions of Odin support Project Treble. Feel like trying out another GSI compatible Android ROM? Effortlessly flash that ROM onto this device. I would love to try EMU Elect on this. So that is a front end that I would love to use for emulation. I think that would be amazing. I hope there's support for this here. You can also run Windows on this device to play PC games and emulators. This is a Snapdragon 845 chipset in the handheld, so I don't think you're going to be running a lot of PC games, but you might be able to run a few and maybe a few emulators. I think we should be able to get away with PS2 emulator on this device via Windows. So hopefully we can see that. Once I get the device in my hand, I will definitely be testing out PS2 emulator on this via Windows and see what that will be like. I know we're gonna have to do a lot of tweaking. However, I just want to put this device through its paces and see what we can really accomplish. So a few other product information: you have dual analog sticks, directional buttons, L3, R3, your face button A, B, X, Y, home, start and select, that beautiful 6-inch screen, which would come at 60 Hertz, and I think there's also a 90 Hertz model for the Pro variant. You have those digital L1 button and R1 button, along with your analog triggers, which will be R2 and L2. Down below we have the audio jack and USB Type-C port, which will support that dock. And we also have the on and off switch and volume rocker on top, along with a slot for a TF card and a mini HDMI out. Going down below, we have 2 mappable buttons on the back of the device, so if you need extra buttons, they're here. If you're playing like an FPS, you can map certain buttons here to like change your weapon or reload. That will be pretty handy. And if you're playing a racing game that support like manual controls, you can shift up and down with that. Just for a few examples, looks pretty good. There's also a exhaust vent here on the back, a few exhaust vents actually, and this will be weird, like all that heat will be like dissipated, so like it's pulling heat, it's pulling cooler air in from the top, or maybe it's pulling cooler air in from the back and dissipating it out through those bottom vents or through the top. I'm not sure, we'll have to test it once I get it in my hands. For the Odin now, the base and Pro model, you have the blue color, green, red, black, transparent purple. I like that transparent purple, it's reminiscent of the GameCube. For the Odin Lite, you have white, transparent black, transparent white, and cool gray. So that cool gray right there is reminiscent of the SNES, or I think it's the NES. But nonetheless, I do like that color, and I like the face buttons that they have right there. Right now you can see AYN is comparing their price versus the competition, such as the Moki i7S, which launched at $390. Pretty expensive for what it was. The GPD XD Plus, $229. However, now it's going for like $250, $300. It's not worth it for that price. The PowerKD X18 for around $150 to $229. Still not worth it at that price, not with a chipset that these devices are coming in with. The RG351P for $100 with the MediaTek 8163, that might be worth it. The Retroid Pocket 2 for $80 with the MediaTek 6580, and this may or may not be worth it. It depends on your preference. I'm not really a big fan of that device, but I think it's cool for whoever does like it. So we're gonna go over the specs here for the base and Pro model of the Odin Handheld, and then we're gonna come back and go through the specs of the Lite. So both base and Pro model will have the Snapdragon 845. The Lite will be packing the Dimensity 1000. The GPU will be the Adreno 630 for the base and Pro model, and for the Lite you'll have the Mali G57. For the base model, you'll have 4 GB of LPDDR4 and 8 GB of LPDDR4. And for the Lite model, 4 GB of RAM there. We have 64 GB on the base, and on the Lite model, on the Pro model, we have 128 GB of UFS 2.1 storage. We have a full HD screen on both devices, well, all 3 devices, the base, the Pro, and the Lite, with a resolution of 1080p, a aspect ratio of 16:9, with a pixel density of 369 ppi. Dragon Trail glass is on all 3 models of the device. You have an HDMI plus display port. For audio, you have Qualcomm acoustic audio codec and speakers amplifier. For the Lite, you have audio codecs and speaker amplifier. Wi-Fi, we have AC Wi-Fi on all 3 models of the device. We have Bluetooth 5.0 on all 3 devices. The interface, we have USB 3.1 via the Type-C, mini HDMI of 3.5mm headphone jack, and this is across all 3 devices. Now what I found a bit weird was right here, the OS. On the base model and the Pro model you have Android 10, but on the Lite model you will be running Android 11. And I'm a bit curious as to why that is. However, when we get the device, we will test it and we will see what that is all about. For battery, on the base model and the Lite model, you'll have 5,000 milliamp hours. However, on the Pro model, they'll bump that up to 6,000, so I think that's cool. You have fast charging or quick charging on all 3 of these devices. And last but not least, they go over the size of the devices. So pretty excited here for the Odin Handheld. Let me know what you think down below. What are your thoughts of all these specs and information that we just went over? Are you excited? Now finally, we're going to go over the price of these devices, and I'm going to give you like a rundown of what you can expect each model to start at. So for the Lite model, starting at 1,285 Hong Kong dollars, which will translate to around 165 US dollars. And for the base model of the Odin, it starts at 1,550 Hong Kong dollars, which will translate to about 199 US dollars. That's the big selling point right there, that 199 price. And for the Odin Pro model, this starts at 1,940 Hong Kong dollars, which will translate to around 249 US dollars. Now these are early bird prices. Prices will increase by just a bit once the device gets out there and you can just buy it from like stores online. I don't know if they'll be selling it on like AliExpress or Amazon, but it seems like they're going very big with this device, so expect to see it on like mainstream outlets or mainstream online stores where you can like purchase this device. Now there are a few other things that I'd like to point out. So if you want a specific color of the handle, you'll have to pay a bit more for that. So they bump it up by an extra like 20 US dollars for you to pick the color that you want. But for me, the color does not matter. As long as I'm able to play the games, I'll have a blast. And I just want I want these devices to like review for the channel, so I definitely want to pick up the Lite model, and I definitely want to pick up the Pro model to see what the difference will be in performance with those two. So like, comment down below, let me know what do you think of the price. $165 for a Android handle with a Dimensity 1000 chipset, a 6-inch screen, dual analog triggers, D-pad, face buttons, and it has AC Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, like all these amazing specs that you're getting. How do you feel about the price for the Lite model at $165? For the base model, $199. How do you feel about that with the Snapdragon 845 chipset? And for the Pro model, $249, Snapdragon 845 along with 8 GB of RAM. Remember, the base and Lite model has 4 GB of RAM, and I want to know, like, how are you guys feeling about the price? Does this get you excited? Do you really want to get this in your hand, or are you waiting? Are you going to be supporting them on Indiegogo and backing this device? I'm thinking about it because I want to get it as soon as possible for the channel, so I'm gonna leave a link down in the description if you'd like to donate to the channel so that we can get this device in our hands as soon as possible. Once it comes out, I definitely want to be reviewing it. I want to be one of the first YouTubers to have this device so that we can build a really great community around it, and I'll be testing a lot of games, a lot of emulators. There's a lot that I want to do right here, and I think it's going to be possible with your guys' help. So definitely comment down below, let me know how you're feeling about this handle. Are you excited? What do you want to see? What I'm really excited about out of all of the information that we got here, we have amazing hardware as we know, but the software is what is really getting me. So the fact that we'll be able to run any GSI compatible Android ROM is pretty amazing. So the fact that you can just flash your ROM or any ROM that you want onto the device, I really like that. I hope we'll be able to use EMU elect. That would be pretty amazing. And also the Windows support. I'm pretty excited about that as well, to be playing my emulators via Windows. So just gonna wrap it up here. That's it for the video, guys. Like the video again, comment down below, and give the video a sub if you like what I'm doing. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.